Welcome to this yoga for your first trimester, and congratulations. My name is Carrie, and I'm not only a yoga instructor, but I'm also a HypnoBirthing educator. And if you want to find out more about HypnoBirthing, you can just check my description below. There's a link to my website, and you'll find all kinds of information there. During the first trimester, you're probably feeling excitement, lots of emotions, maybe a little bit tired, anxious, all of those wonderful things. So grab yourself a mat, get into something comfortable, and we'll get started. So let's start this class in table position. So getting yourself on your hands and knees. We're going to set our wrists up underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips. Get your fingers nice and wide. So for those of you that have maybe never done yoga before, this is a table position. And we're going to start moving with our breath. So yoga is all about a union of breath and movement in order to calm your mind, which I'm sure during your first trimester is going to be very helpful. So let's start with what we call cat-cow. So as you exhale, you're going to round your back up towards your ceiling, bringing your head down. And then you're going to inhale, letting the belly sink down, your head and tailbone will come up. So moving back and forth like this, with your breath, coming into that round cat as you exhale, and a sway back cow as you inhale. Keeping your arms straight and moving back and forth. Cat-cow is a very good pose all throughout your pregnancy. It'll help alleviate any tension, any back issues. And as you're doing this, see if you can slow down your breath. Slowing it down, slowing down your movements. And then we'll come back into a neutral position. We're going to take our hands out in front and we're going to ease them forward, coming into a puppy dog pose. So bringing your forehead down to the mat, making any adjustments for your elbows so your shoulders feel good. Taking a moment to feel the support on your head, keeping your hips up towards the ceiling. Coming back to your breath. During your first trimester, you might be feeling a bit of nausea. This is a good shape to come into to get yourself grounded, easing away any discomforts you might be feeling. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Allowing your chest to sink down. At any point, making sure there's no sharp pains, always listening to your body. And then we'll move our hands back underneath the shoulders, easing our way back up into our table position. And we're going to take the right toes behind us, placing the toes onto the mat and just pumping your heel a couple of times, opening up and waking up the calves, waking up the toes. And then we'll bring that knee up and bring it towards your shoulder. We're going to take our knee into a few circles here, loosening up the hips. Being aware of what's going on for you. And then we'll take it in the other direction, nice and big. Beautiful. Let's send that foot out, placing it onto your floor. We're going to just move the hips back and bringing them forward. So just moving back and forth a few times. Taking it nice and slow. And then we'll come back in, bringing that knee in, and we'll come into child's pose. So you might want to bring your knees a little further apart, feet together, bringing the hips down towards your heels. And you can either stack your fists and place them on your head onto your fists, or if you want, you can come all the way down to the mat. So child's pose is an excellent shape to come into if you're feeling a little anxious, if you're needing to get a little more grounded. Bringing your focus back to your breath. And then we'll come back up, bringing your knees back in together. We'll do the other side, left foot coming out, toes on the mat, and just gently pumping your heel back and forth. Good. And then coming back to stillness, we'll take the left knee towards the left shoulder, making a nice big circle again. Noticing how this side feels. Taking it nice and slow. And then we'll make it go in the other direction. Noticing any differences from one side to the other. Beautiful. Let's send that left foot out. And then we'll just let the hips come down. And coming back up. And back down. And back up. And once more back down. And back up. Let's bring that left knee back in. We're going to curl the toes under and bringing ourselves into a downward facing dog. So slowly bringing your hips up, letting your head come in between your arms, walking one heel out at a time. And then we'll bring the hands back to meet the feet. Maybe keeping your knees bent, hanging out over your hips. Taking a few breaths here, maybe even grabbing hold of the elbows and slowly swaying from side to side. Letting your head hang down. And then coming back to center, releasing your hands back to the floor. We'll bend the knees nice and generous and slowly bringing yourself up, keeping your chin tucked until you're feeling nice and stable. And then when you're feeling stable, you can lift your head up, shoulders roll back and down. Coming into mountain pose. Feeling your feet nice and solid on the mat here. Standing up nice and tall. See if you can get your hips over your heels, your shoulders over your hips. maybe even your ears over your shoulders, and notice how that feels to be all nicely stacked up. So as your body continues to grow, as baby continues to grow, your center of gravity, which is this belly area, is going to expand. So you're going to find as you progress in your pregnancy that your balance might be a little bit off. So just being aware of that. And from here, reaching the arms all the way up, grabbing hold of the left wrist and coming over to your right. And then back to center. Let's grab hold of the right wrist, coming over to the left. And back to center, letting your arms float back down nice and slow. We'll take our feet further apart, let the arms sway from side to side. Getting loose and limp, letting go of any anxiety, any worry. And then we'll come back to center. Bring your feet back together. We're going to come into warrior one. So we'll take the right leg and slide it back, setting that foot up so it feels nice and stable. So your hips are going to be facing forward, bending into the front knee, making any adjustments to that front foot. And then we'll reach the arms up, feeling nice and strong and powerful here, letting your shoulders relax. Breathing in the confidence of the warrior. And exhaling any doubts of the warrior. Beautiful. Let's bring the palms together back to our heart. And bringing the back foot forward, we'll switch sides. Left foot is going to slide back, bending into the front knee, sinking into those legs. And then when you're ready, reach the arms all the way up. Looking up, feeling confident, knowing that your body knows how to grow a baby. Breathing in that confidence, exhaling any worries. All is as it should be. Beautiful. Let's bring the palms together back to our heart and bring that back foot forward again, shaking those legs out. We're going to take our feet a little wide apart, and your toes can be on a 45-degree angle. I'm going to stretch the arms out nice and wide, and then sinking down into our beautiful goddess pose. So making sure the knees are over top of the toes, bending your elbows, feeling those legs nice and strong, coming into this wonderful, powerful feminine pose. Breathing here. And then we'll bring the hands down to our knees. Let's slowly fold forward. We're going to take the right shoulder to the left knee. And then coming back to center. Let's take the left shoulder to the right. Coming back to center. And moving from side to side one more time. Each side. Beautiful. Coming all the way down with your hands to the floor, maybe wiggling your toes in a little bit. We're going to come into a squat. So wiggling in, see if you can get your heels down. If you can't, you can just use your hands for support. Coming into our beautiful squat here. Maybe if you can get your heels down, you can bring your hands to your heart center. So this is an excellent pose to do all through your pregnancy. Taking a few breaths here. allowing yourself to relax. This is a good one for relieving any back issues as well. And then we'll make our way all the way down onto the floor, crossing your legs, coming back into an easy seated position. So sitting up nice and tall, one of the breaths from HypnoBirthing, and this is called the calming breath, and it's a great breath to use when you need to kind of calm down the nervous system. If you're feeling a little anxious, a little unsettled, it's a good breath to use if you're having trouble sleeping at night. And it's also used quite often in yoga classes. So sitting comfortably, we'll bring our hands to our belly. We want to bring the breath all the way down into your belly. So maybe closing your eyes here. As you inhale, see if you can get your hands to move. And as you exhale, see if they sink back in. Just breathing back and forth like this. As you breathe, see if you can gently constrict the back of your throat. In yoga, we call this the Ujjai Breath. It's kind of a hollow sound, like you're listening to a seashell. Hollow sound in the back of your throat. So see if you can get that hollow sound as you continue to breathe all the way down into your belly, all the way down to your baby. And while you're breathing here, maybe silently count the length of your inhale and the length of your exhale. I'm going to gradually get that exhale to be twice as long as your inhale. So allowing it to naturally occur, not forcing it, just allowing it. So if you're inhaling for the count of 4, you want to be exhaling to the count of 8 eventually. And the combination of that hollow sound in the back of your throat, belly breath, and getting the exhale longer than the inhale all helps to tap into our parasympathetic nervous system, which gives us the message to rest and digest and helps us to stay in that healing room as opposed to that fight or flight and emergency room. And the more you practice this breath, the easier it will come. And then we'll take the left leg out, stretching it out. We're going to reach the right arm up and coming over towards those left toes. Feeling a nice stretch along the right side body. Breathing here. And then slowly coming back up, let's set that right hand back on the floor. We're going to reach the arm up, lift the hips up, coming into a nice big stretch from your fingers to your toes. And then slowly coming back down. Beautiful. Let's bring that left leg in and switching our legs. And let's take the right leg out. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take the left arm up to the ceiling and letting it come down towards your toes. Stretching out that side body. Breathing here. And then we'll let the left hand come back down to the mat. We're going to lift the hips. So reaching the right arm up, maybe bringing that arm over. Breathing into that space you're creating. And then slowly come back down. Beautiful. Let's bring the leg in and getting back into our comfortable seated position. Letting those shoulders relax. Closing your eyes, noticing how you're feeling. And at any time you want to come back to this class, feel free, bringing your hands together and wishing you a wonderful day. Namaste.